He's always been a runt frost giant who grew up in the shadow of Thor, Odin's favorite son, and heir to Asgard. Most of the time, he just felt alone. The cruelty wasn't because he wanted power, it was because he had to prove that he deserved to exist. Loki has spent 3 movies as a bad guy, the villain of the first Avengers, a thorn in Thor's side. Then,
the opening of this film is Loki giving the Tesseract to Thanos.
You really are the worst, brother.
After which he is executed. And I looked at Kevin and I said, so that's it. And he's like, yep.
No resurrections this time.
Then Disney Plus gave him his own show, and that show quietly set the entire future of the MCU. Introduced more multiverse concepts than any other Marvel movie, and completely rebuilt the franchise's greatest villain. Join me as we go through it together. I'm Sheldon. Let's portal in. Episode 1 is titled Glorious Purpose. It's been kind of Loki's mantra for pretty much the beginning. The Avengers theme starts playing. We open up on New York City as the letters and title card cycle through the options before settling like an old train station flip-flap display. The date cycles backwards from 2025 down to 2012. This is the start of Kang's lies. That's Kang literally manipulating the timeline dial, spinning it back to this exact moment he chooses this Loki variant.
I paved the road.
And immediately, the Avengers Endgame footage is a little different.
Search and rescue. On my way down to coordinate search and rescue.
On my way down to coordinate search and rescue.
On my way down to coordinate search and rescue.
Loki's Steve Rogers impression, it's a little bit more robotic. Then we cut to a different camera angle, only on Loki. We get a mid close-up shot of Loki. Why? What you're watching isn't recomposited footage. Marvel didn't take existing shots and digitally manipulate them to look slightly off. Director Kate Herron went into the in-game production vault and pulled elements nobody had ever seen before. Alternative takes, unused camera angles, performance variations from the original shot that never made it into the final film. Hiddleston's already in the footage. It's already there. It just never got released, so it made it easy to repurpose. For her to make what she calls her funny hybrid. These unseen vault elements recombined with the newly filmed shots woven in, and the result is a scene that feels familiar, but slightly wrong. And slightly wrong is exactly how a British timeline should feel. And as Tony Stark closes the suitcase around the Tesseract, you can see a little bitty Ant-Man coming up his arm. Another in-game change is when the Tesseract slid out of the briefcase to Loki's feet, it was silent. But here it has a slight hum. The hum tells us something. To Loki, in this moment, the Tesseract is more than just power. It's the key to his endgame. All he wanted to use it for is to rule space. He grabs it and disappears. And in the moment, we hear Thor calling out his name, panicked back from the original timeline. So Loki doing this created a branch timeline, and we first get a hint of this visually from the Marvel Studios logo shifts into Loki's signature green and gold. So next we cut to a single bug reflected in a water droplet. We're now in the Gobi Desert, and the sky opens up. Loki now crashes into the sand. This shot is an echo from Kang crashing into the quantum realm from Quantum Mania. Loki throws off his Asgardian muzzle with the same energy as Tony Stark stripping off his Mark I. We have some startled Mongolians, and Loki's first thought is to climb a rock, full glorious purpose mode, but then he's interrupted by a time door. We get our first look at the TVA Hunters. This group is led by B-15, and immediately, costume designer Christine Wada is doing some storytelling without any dialogue.
B-15 has the amount of kills. She's scratched in numbers on her helmet.
An organization built around making identical agents, Wada added those to give individuality to someone in a deliberately cookie-cutter system. B-15 scanner has Loki labeled as variant L1138. The branch timeline slope is growing, hovering around 3.9 and climbing. The hunters carry time sticks. Some glow orange and some glow purple. We'll come back to what those settings actually do, but notice, B-15 is the only one with purple. She's using a different mode than her team. And here's something that your eye misses because the show pulls you to screen left. The hunter on the right has a high-tech monocle pulled down from her helmet. It works like a heads-up display, tracking variants, feeding data in real time. The show never names it, but it's just another piece of costume design doing work. B-15 gives Loki his last warning, powers the time stick, and then she shows us what the purple setting does. The person on the receiving end moves at 1/16th the speed, but feels every bit of pain in real time. The end result? The hurt lasts longer. Loki learns that fast. He's taken into custody. The hunters are ordered to reset the timeline. They deploy a reset charge, an orange to purple chemical reaction that has kind of a kitchen timer sound when it finishes, and then the prune branch dissolves. When B-15 and Loki step through the time door into the TVA, you can actually see the moment that the branch timeline stops existing. The Tesseract's blue glow fades, and the hum goes silent. Everything in the TVA screams, "You're being lied to," if you know what to look for. The 1970s orange aesthetic is a direct homage to Gilliam's Brazil, a film about bureaucracy crushing human potential. If you want a breakdown of the film Brazil, let me know in the portal pad down below. The ceiling patterns, those mirror the TARDIS interior from Doctor Who. Director Kate Herron confirmed that the color scheme was intentionally matched to the classic cheap, mass-produced, familiar, but completely artificial. Every single design choice is telling you this place was manufactured to feel comfortable, so you won't question it. Loki tries to bolt. B-15 uses a time twister, basically a remote leash, to rewind him back to her side. Next, we meet Casey, the TVA clerk who processes newly captured variants. Loki is worried about his Tesseract as he's being pushed towards the chamber.
Tesseract. Be very careful with it.
The cheerful little robot says, then disintegrates.
Fine and Guardian leather.
There's a beat of genuine panic from Loki
Hang on just a minute.
just before he drops to the floor. In the transcript room, he's asked,
Please sign to verify this is everything you've ever said.
What?
the transcript prints from a
Sign
dot
this too.
matrix printer, because of course it does. The TVA is just allergic to anything invented after 1979. If you notice on the small screen on the left, between processing variants, the clerk plays solitaire, which essentially is a direct callback to this moment in Avengers.
That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
The clock on the wall has multiple hands and way too many numbers. The clock is a visual reminder that you are not on normal time. Loki drops to the floor again. The temporal aura scanner.
Please confirm to your knowledge that you are not a fully robotic being. We're born an organic creature and do in fact possess what many cultures would call a soul.
To my knowledge, do a lot of people not know if they're robots?
Thank you for your confirmation. Please move through.
This machine ensures that you are not a robot. Loki then asks,
What if I was a robot and I didn't know it?
The machine would melt you from the inside out. Please move along, sir.
Okay, I'm not a robot, so I'll be fine. What's that?
Your temporal aura.
What's that?
Please through the door.
then the DMV line room. Stanchions, a minute man behind a desk,
Take a ticket.
being told to take a ticket.
Deli? No.
There's only two of us in here.
Take a ticket.
And a poster that says, behave or you'll get your clock clean. Then the Miss Minutes welcome video starts.
Welcome to the Time Variance Authority. I'm Miss Minutes, and it's my job to catch you up before you stand trial for your crimes.
So the obvious assumption about Miss Minutes
Hey y'all!
is that she's a 2D cartoon dropped into a live action space. But that's not what Luma Pictures built. She's a 3D character engineered to behave like a 2D cartoon, which is actually the harder problem. The style reference was Felix the Cat and Betty Boop. Specifically, that steppy, slightly mechanical movement, easy to draw, extremely difficult to rig. The technical challenge was engineering eyes that pop on command and a mouth with hand-drawn malleability. She also exists in two different fidelity levels. Flat and basic inside the propaganda video itself, more fluid and interactive when she appears as a hologram. Same character, different rigs. You prefer 2D animation or 3D animation? Let me know. Portal pad down below. This whole video was modeled after actual 1950s propaganda films. Like A is for Atom, about atomic energy, and Destination Earth, an oil industry film literally made by an oil company to promote oil. The imagery in the Miss Minutes sequence almost matches those frame by frame. And just like them, it's friendly, reassuring, and it's absolutely constructed to make you stop asking questions. Now we get the multiversal war.
Long ago, there was a vast multiversal war. Countless unique timelines battled each other for supremacy, nearly resulting in the total destruction of, well, everything.
This is exactly what Reed Richards later will call incursions in the multiverse of madness.
Incursion?
An incursion occurs when the boundary between two universes erodes and they collide, destroying one or both entirely.
But then the all-knowing timekeepers emerged, bringing peace by reorganizing the multiverse into a single timeline, the sacred timeline.
But sometimes people like you veer off the path the timekeepers created. Stepping off the path create a nexus event, which, left unchecked, could branch off into madness, leading to another multiversal war. But don't worry, make sure that doesn't happen. The timekeepers created the TVA. Now that your actions have left you without a place on the timeline, you must stand trial for your offenses. Just make sure you have your ticket, and you'll be seen by the next available attendant.
For all time. Always.
And the video ends with this line: produced by the Time Variance Authority Narration Commission. It's an in-house department specifically for shaping what people believe. Because if you don't know any different, you're not going to question it. Miss Minutes is describing real physics, and that's what makes good propaganda. Enough truth sprinkled in there just to make it all sound plausible. The video ends. Loki looks at the woman on the screen who just explained the entire cosmological order and says,
Timekeepers. The sacred timeline. Who actually believes this bunkum?
He's not even finished being processed, and he's already calling out that this is all fake. It's all a ruse. Can't trick a trickster. He's the only person in the room who's suspicious. Everyone else has been there long enough that they stop asking. Then we get to see what the orange setting on the time stick actually does. That's not a pleasant experience. Loki then scrambles for his ticket.
Thanks for visiting the TVA. Don't hesitate to let us know how we're doing.
The main title sequence was designed by Perception. They wanted to pay homage to Loki's shape-shifting nature, pulling from previous MCU title sequences, comic books Loki has appeared in, alien topography from the series, and Norse runes. All of it flickering through the logo, while Natalie Holt's TVA theme plays. The date swipes to 1549. We're introduced to Agent Mobius. In the comics, he is Mobius M. Mobius. The character has the ability to move through time and is deeply embedded in the TVA operations. Here, he's investigating murders of TVA hunters and Minutemen by an unknown variant.
Yeah, stab wounds look consistent with the others.
Whoever it is, they lured the TVA here using kablooey gum, an anachromatic item left in the past specifically to trigger an investigation. Mobius is handed Loki's rap sheet. It reads, Loki Laufeyson, son of Laufey, the frost giant from the first Thor. Alias Loki Odin's son, as he didn't know his real parentage until the events of that film, also known as God of Mischief. Sex, fluid, which is a detail pointing to the fact that different variants of Lokis can exist in different forms. That'll matter later on. We then cut to Loki's trial. Residing Justice Renona Renslayer, seated in front of massive carved wooden faces of the three timekeepers. In the comics, Renslayer was a love of King the Conqueror. Keep her in mind. Loki throws the Avengers under the bus immediately.
Oh, really? And who should we have?
I suspect the Avengers. You see, I only came into possession of the Tesseract because they traveled through time.
But Renslayer shuts him down hard.
We're not here to talk about the Avengers.
Oh no?
No. What they did was supposed to happen. You escaping was not.
There's a lot packed into that. The Avengers' time heist in Endgame, them stealing the stones and putting them back, that was always part of the sacred timeline. Loki was not supposed to walk away from it. He is sentenced to be pruned.
The court finds you guilty, and I sentence you to be reset.
You have no idea what I'm capable of.
Mobius pops in from the France investigation.
Have an idea of what he's capable of.
And Sweet talks Renona into recruit L1138 to help seek out the variant that they're trying to find.
Okay, I'm just chasing a hunch.
Anything goes sideways, it's on you.
I feel like I'm always looking up to you. Make it. It's appropriate.
As they walk through the TVA, Loki looks up at one of the architectural spires, labeled T-282. That's a reference to Thor issue 282, the first appearance of the Timekeepers in the comics. Mobius introduces himself and then immediately calls Loki out.
I'm Agent Mobius, by the way. I'm taking you someplace to talk.
Well, I don't like to talk.
But you do like to lie, which you just did. Because we both know you love to talk. Keep talking.
Loki realizes he's finally met someone who has actually studied him, and that stops him cold.
How long have you been here? I don't know, it's hard to say. You know, time passes differently here in the TVA. What does that mean? You'll catch up.
Mobius fires up a hollow projector 35. They sit down in the time theater. Mobius cracks open a Josta. Josta was the first energy drink ever released by a major American beverage company. PepsiCo launched it in 1995, and it was discontinued in 1999. It was a fruity cola. Let me know down below if you've ever had this. I was between ages 4 and 8 when it was out, so I never had it. Mobius starts showing Loki his own history. He's captured by the Avengers. How he always gets away.
Let's talk about your escapes. This is one of my favorites.
And then we're on a plane. Northwest Oriental Airlines Flight 305, heading to Seattle. A flight attendant approaches.
Reverend Silva?
Thank you. Miss.
Yes, Mr. Cooper.
Loki was DB Cooper!
You might want to take a look at that note.
On November 24th, 1971, a man calling himself Dan Cooper boarded a flight from Portland to Seattle. After takeoff, he handed the flight attendant a note saying that he had a bomb. He then traded the passengers for 4 parachutes and $200,000 in cash, all in $20 bills, once they landed in Seattle. Then he ordered the plane to fly towards New Mexico, where he jumped out mid-flight and it was never seen again. And now we know why.
Brother, Heimdall, you'd better be ready.
And Loki apparently did this because he lost a bet to Thor.
Let's get back to escapes. A little psychobabble. What is it that you think that you're really running from?
Mobius really wants Loki to break, so he shows him his future from the original timeline.
You're gonna start taking things seriously.
The one Loki accidentally stepped away from.
The Tesseract, you would have been taken to a cell on Asgard.
Frigga is the only reason you're still alive, and you will never see her again. You'll spend the rest of your days in the dungeons.
Loki,
Hello, Mother. Have I made you proud?
please don't make this worse.
What is this? This is nonsense. More tricks. It's never even happened.
Look, the TVA doesn't just know your whole past. We know your whole life, how it's all meant to be.
Then he shows him Frigga.
This is absurd.
Then am I not your mother?
Frigga's theme comes in.
Always so
You
obsessed
feel it like a blade.
about everyone but yourself.
And then the Dark Elves attack the palace, and you think you send them to Thor.
You might want to take the stairs to the left.
But instead, you send them...
I'll never tell you.
Just like she did in her back.
You lead them right to her.
I don't believe you. You're lying. It's not true.
Mobius shows him what Loki's own actions led to. He let the frost giants in, she was stabbed in the back, and she died.
That's the proper flow of time, and it happens again and again and again because it's supposed to, because it has to.
Mobius keeps probing, and then he delivers a line that's one of the quietest gut punches of the whole episode.
You weren't born to be king, Loki. You were born to cause pain and suffering and death. That's how it is, that's how it was, that's how it will be. All so that others can achieve their best versions of themselves.
What is this place?
Then B-15 enters with a new hit on the variant that they're hunting. Mobius turns towards the door. While he's distracted, Loki swipes the TemPad off of him. Here's the detail that I love. The holo projector is showing the Avengers circle shot rotating to the right. After Mobius heads to the door, it's rotating to the left. Loki stealing the TemPad created a branch timeline which wasn't supposed to happen. The rotational flip in the show is literally showing you the branch forming. Then, after Loki rewinds and puts himself back, the circle shot is now rotating to the right again. The loop is now closed. Mobius comes back to an empty theater, checks his pockets.
Mischievous camp.
Yo, check this out. When Loki escapes into the hallway, in the background, a hunter walks through a time door with what looks like a variant of Agent Carter. Head writer Michael Waldron was asked about this directly, and his answer was, quote, "I don't think I can answer that. Maybe just keep watching." I guess we'll keep watching. Loki finds Casey, and with classic glorious purpose energy,
Casey. Give me the Tesseract or I'll gut you like a fish, Casey.
that specific phrase and the character's name might be a nod to Drew Barrymore's Casey in Scream. It's the same threat.
You hang up on me again, I'll gut you like a fish.
Probably coincidence, but just thought I'd take a stab at that one. Casey opens the evidence drawer. Loki grabs the Tesseract, then stops. The drawer's full of Infinity Stones. Casey jokes,
We actually got a lot of those. Yeah, some of the guys use them as paperweights.
Magic powers. They're no good in the TVA.
magic doesn't work in the TVA, but there's more in the drawer. A T-206 Hornets Wagner baseball card, one of the rarest cards in existence. Military medals, crucifix, casino chips, and what looks like a white reel-to-reel tape box with the words Watergate on it. If that's what it looks like, then that could be the missing 18 minutes from the Watergate tapes. So the TVA just doesn't police time, they erase history. They decide what is real. Right here, Loki is realizing that there's more to the universe than he knew. Some of his glorious purpose is starting to fade. He walks with Casey looking at the consoles, and you can see on the TV screen the word Vormir, the location of the Soul Stone. So this confirms to him that the Infinity Stones are genuine, and that here in the TVA, they have the power to make them obsolete. Loki drops his last wall.
Is this the greatest power in the universe?
Now we have an emotional turn. After winding himself back into the theater, Loki cycles through the film of his life one more time. Frigga's death.
I love you, my sons. Remember this place.
Odin recognizing him as his son before he dies.
Loki, I thought the world of you.
Ragnarok.
I thought we were going to fight side by side forever. Maybe you're not so bad after all, brother.
Maybe not.
His attempt to stab Thanos. Then it cuts to his face. And you hear the sound of his neck being snapped. You hear the sound of war building. And then an explosion of the ship. Then we got to the reel on the projector. It's labeled Tail ETH 616. This is showing the end of Loki Laufeysson's time on Earth 616. He sees the end of his time and then just has to laugh. He's always been a runt frost giant who grew up in the shadow of Thor, Odin's favorite son, and heir to Asgard. Most of the time, he just felt alone. The cruelty wasn't because he wanted power, it was because he had to prove that he deserved to exist. He knows he can't go back to his timeline, so he chooses to listen to Mobius.
Why me?
The variant we're hunting is you.
I beg your pardon?
We cut to 1858, an oil field in Salina, Oklahoma. If you look closely at the screen in the scene, it is scanning for the time signature. We have another anachronistic object placed in the past for a possible trap. This is a quantum ore shovel produced by AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics, from the early 3rd millennium, specifically July 27th, 2060. This shows our mystery variant isn't hiding in the past, she's armed with future tech. Then the trap is set. The field starts set on fire, and the reset charges are stolen. Then we're taken to the end credits, where there's more nuggets. The end credit sequence was designed by Perception. They're letting you see the TVA through its own bureaucratic lens, a mundane office life, but every element is paired with something magical and impossible. Walking through it, we have Loki's case file, photos, thumbprints, and a plea agreement with redacted names underneath, a coffee pot labeled Fresh 800 BC, a poster of a nerdy analyst and a hunter side by side that says working in tandem. And tucked in there, a page from Schrodinger's equation. Erwin Schrödinger proposed the thought experiment about a cat in a box with poison. The cat is both alive and dead until the box is opened. This is used to show that both outcomes can be possible until it's actually observed. We have a stack of files with a Mind Stone being used as a paperweight, just as Casey said. Then there's a clock with more hands than any clock should have, with one hand moving backwards. Also a variant diagram showing a main figure with 5 branches, each one with a different shaped head: square, triangle, pentagon, hexagon, and an X. Perception stated that the jumping text on the screen is a nod to jumping through time. We get an apocalyptic event report describing Loki's involvement with the DB Cooper planejacking. The credits end on the 3 timekeepers' faces from the courtroom. If you stay to the end, you'll hear Miss Minutes say,
Thanks for visiting the TVA. Don't hesitate to let us know how we're doing.
One last thing, the end credit sequence, it changes slightly every episode. There might be some new photos, new details added. The whole thing may speed up or slow down depending on the pace of the episode. So you should subscribe so you don't miss any changes. Sure. So if you missed anything from episode 1, a detail, an Easter egg, something in the background, drop it in the portal pad down below. Be gentle. This is the Portal of Doomsday, where we're watching everything connected to the multiverse, one piece at a time, building a full picture together. Subscribe so you're there for every stop. Now, here's what's coming up. The TVA has been hunting one Loki variant for years, and they can't catch them. Episode 2, we'll find out why, and it starts with a Renaissance fair. See you soon. Old train station flip chop display. So, episode. Joshua was a major. Joshua was a. Oh, that's Cameron. Joshua was a. Why? Yes, Mr. Cooper. Yes, Mr. Cooper. His most powerful object in the universe. Now a paperweight. So for the end credit sequence, bunkum. Episode 2 is next. I'll see you in the portal. I'll see you inside the portal. And the portal out. I'll see you on the other side of the portal. Come step through the portal with me. Walk through that portal with me.